Nation. We are here with head coach Todd Hafner of the football team as we preview the 2021 season. Coach, your 18th season.
Yes.
My 18th season covering football. So, we're excited. I know it's hot as bejesus out there this week, but I think by Saturday at 6 p.m. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel football. Hopefully football-ish weather, and it's going to be football one way or another.
One way or another. Yeah.
So let's rewind to a very interesting, challenging 2020 season. Kind of just recap that a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. It was challenging. Is a great way to put it. You'd go into Sunday telling your kids that this is where we're going to play. This is what time we're leaving. This is what time. And then you waited until Thursday or Friday to find out if that was really going to happen or not. And so, it was hard from that standpoint. I thought our kids and our coaches handled the situation as well as we could. I thought our kids were fantastic with how they took, the protocols and different things very seriously. And, we were able to play as many games as we could. We would have liked to have won a couple more games. However, we battled through some injuries and some different things like that. And, to be honest with you, at the end of it, I think we were very pleased with how it went.
Yeah. We played a Sunday afternoon game. We were NFL, man.
We were right up there with the NFL, no doubt.
Some wild stuff. May have been probably the only Sunday football game that William Penn's ever played.
Well, I would have to think. So in the last 2 years, we're the last tie since who knows when we had the game canceled at halftime, 7-7, and we played a Sunday afternoon game. So we're looking forward to see what happens this year.
Well, hopefully nothing too exciting.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah. All right, let's talk just preseason here. You guys got the 2 weeks under your belt, more than 2 weeks, and I mean everybody's. They got through it, hopefully. I didn't hear of any crazy injuries or anything, and all I hear is positive. So let's recap preseason a little bit.
Well, very positive. I think that the one thing that we found out about our football team is these kids care. They care They cared enough over the summer to get themselves in shape. They cared enough to come into camp with a great attitude. The first 3 days were as hot as it's going to be this week, and we battled through it and practiced. And they not once said a word, and this team has grown over the last 2 weeks to be one of the better teams that we've ever had. Now, is that going to translate to wins? Well, that's yet to be determined, because we're going to have to go out and execute and do all those things. But as far as team chemistry and the camaraderie of this team, I would match it against any team we've had in 18 years.
Awesome.
Been fantastic. The kids are great. They care about each other, and we're really looking forward to preparing this week and getting ready to go play Saturday.
Awesome. All right, let's break it down by position. Starting with quarterback, your position. So.
Well, I think Alex is our guy. It was going to take something pretty special to beat him out just because of his experience and things like that. Alex battled through some injuries last year and even tried to play through some. And the key for Alex this year is to stay healthy. And we'll do some things to try and keep him healthy. But we feel good about what we have backing him up. We'll go into game one with Danny Amisquita as our backup. We have Gavin Roundtree and Rodney Hall that are there ready to go if needed. And we feel very good about the depth finally, at that position. Last year it got pretty crazy. We had to move Jace from linebacker to quarterback with a week's notice, and that was tough. And so, of course, Jace handled it like a champ, but we don't want to put ourselves in that situation again. And we've done the recruiting thing right, and then feel good about where we're at with depth.
Offensive side of the ball, we return all of our starters, and starts up front with those 5 guys, and feel really good about them. We got some guys beefed up, bigger guys this year. I think it'll help us, run the ball a little bit better, move the line of scrimmage, and then we return both of our starting slots. Luke and Archer, both super talented guys. Pretty quick, so try to get the ball out to the edge to them, so they can make some plays. And then, Ben Sherman's back, so thank goodness, everyone, who supports William Penn's excited about that, and especially me. So excited about him. And then, you have Adrienne Felix, and who's a talented guy, who's a big guy, can help, block with the offensive lineman, and then we can line him up out receiver. And then a good group of young guys at receiver that, can, make a difference, and occasionally throw the fade ball down the field to them, catch teams by surprise. So super excited about the group we got, had a great fall camp with them, and just really excited to get started and get after it. So I feel really good about the offense side of the ball this year.
Cool. All right. Talk about some expectations for this year.
Yeah. So actually, me and Ben were talking the other day, and it's the most confidence we've had going into a season. In years past we have pieces, but we feel like this year, it's we got the whole thing. So our expectations are pretty high. We feel like we should compete in every game, win every game, and that's kind of expectations for this year is to be very competitive and be a good football team. So we're excited about it. So.
Talk about keys to success outside of obviously staying healthy.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Part, yeah, but other things that you guys are like, we can do A, B, C, and D, then we know we're gonna be successful.
I think just kind of taking it one game at a time, slowing down and enjoying it. I think for me personally, just having this extra year kind of wasn't in the I didn't think I was gonna have it last year. So just kind of enjoying each game and the little things, being with the guys is just gonna make us have all the success. Enjoying the little, the grind, the little details, weights, practice, and just, loving what I'm doing. And I think that's kind of what we've talked about throughout camp is loving each other. And as long as we can stay together as a unit and love each other, and we're gonna be good for the season. So super excited, ready to get going, and football's back. So.
A lot of good returners back at slot back, and then fullbacks. We'll talk about both those kind of in unison there.
Well, yeah, obviously with Ben deciding to come back and go to grad school has helped us a ton because obviously he, before he got hurt last year, he was leading the nation in rushing, and he had surgery right away, so he's back and ready to go and looks great. Reeves Grogan and Keegan Simmons and Brendan Phillips are all right there, for the backup, so they'll all see playing time this Saturday, I can almost assure you. At slot back, we have, Archer Charles is back, and Luke Masters is back, and Alex Jung, and Connor Haas, and Jaron Roush, and Ricky. We feel the depth at that position is as good as anywhere. Yeah. We can put anybody in, and we feel good about what we're going to get. There's not going to be a huge drop off of any between who's playing there, and we just feel good about that, that position just because there's so much experience and game time action. Receiver wise, we're a little thin. I think that Tristan Ross is back, and Demarion Johnson has come in and done a really nice job. Other than that, we're still looking. It's one of those situations where we'll go into this week still trying to find. We've had some kids hurt that'll be back, and hopefully we can find some added depth at that position.
Sure. Tight end / offensive
yeah.
line there.
So tight end, Adrienne Felix is back, and so we feel really good about him. We'll keep Adrienne on the field quite a bit. Adrienne can play receiver, he can play tight end, and so Sham Graham is back, and Tim Bostic is also in the mix, and a really good young player. Offensive line wise, they're all back, and that obviously is the key. We're experienced there. From left tackle, we have Dylan Weimer, who is a returning all conference player.
Yeah, first teamer.
Yeah, first teamer. Cameron Carnes will be our left guard. Nico Robinson will move from right tackle to center. Okay. I'm trying to think. Aaron Martinez will be our right guard, and then Eric Porter will be back at right tackle. So that group's as experienced as we've had in a long time. There's some size in that group that can move around, and again, when I said early, kids that came back in shape, this group came back in shape. They came back, held their weight. They're able to go play, the plays that we need them to play. We're going to 60, 70, 75 plays, and feel good about that. And offensively, we've done some good things. We've made a few changes, and we feel really good about where we're at.
Yeah. All right. Switch over to the other side, starting with defensive line.
Well, defensive line, again, they're all back. Isaac Knudsen and Marquise Knighton and Jaden Curtis will all start for us. They're all right there. Deontay Bass is one that's back, and feel good about him. And we've added a couple transfers in there that are key backups for us right now. But as far as experience and playing time, we have it. And so I think in this conference that's huge. I think in the conference that we play, you can't just throw a bunch of either young kids or young, inexperienced transfers and be able to win right away in the conference. Maybe you can, after week 3 or 4, but the fact that we have the experience back, and these kids know what to expect week in and week out is huge for us. Moving back to linebacker, you know, Turner Ellis, Rogan Forts, Demarion Johnson is all those players again were starters for us last year, so we feel really good about where we're at with them. Experience at linebacker for us is key because of what we do. You know, we ask those guys to do a lot as far as blitzing, as far as coveraging and things like that, and the fact that those guys have done it for minimum a year already makes a huge difference. In the secondary, you're looking at Armand Pledge and Alfonso Battle at the corners. You're looking at, trying to think, Spencer Steele and Zenon Hall at the safeties. We get Colton Horak back from injury. He'll figure in there. Kevin George is a transfer that we feel really good about at corner. He's a long, lanky corner that still had an injury early on, that's still trying to battle through that a little bit. And so you'll see both of those kids play quite a bit on the defense as well.
Definitely.
I feel as a defense we're gonna be really well-rounded. For the D-line, we got 3 returners coming back, actually 4. One was a freshman, he didn't play as much last year, but he's gonna get a lot of playing time this year. And we also got a transfer on the D-line, so I think we're gonna have a solid rotation there, and then keep everybody fresh. As a whole defense, from linebacker, we got 3 returners. You know, they're really well-rounded linebackers that do everything, and our secondary is very, very versatile, very experienced. So as a whole defense, I feel like we will have good experience. You know, so I wouldn't say we will be like surprised by any team because we've seen it all now as an experienced defense. So I think we'd be very well-rounded, and I'm excited for the defense this year. So I feel like we're gonna have a really good year. Honestly, just having experience on both sides of the ball, and just going out there knowing, hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. And going into the South, because we're from the North, so going into the South, I feel like we could really take like maybe even 1 or 2 games out of that. We might lose 1 or 2 games out of that thing, but because Benedictine's a tough team, and you know we got Baker, but I feel like overall we could really, even Baker and Benedictine, we go in and upset them, get good wins. And Benedictine's coming here this Saturday, so I feel like we have a really good chance of like, hey, let's go out there, let's play our game, we could do it. So you know, I feel like as a team we really could honestly win the South when we go to the South for preseason. Well, not preseason, but that part of the play, I feel like we could do really well in that. And going into conference, I feel like we have a really good chance this year. Just if we do what we gotta do, you know, Grandview is the biggest competition right now, and you know that's a rivalry. And you know, if we do what we gotta do, I feel like we can get it. And honestly, I'm not saying we're gonna go 11-0, but I have a good feeling that we go, 10-1, 9-2, you know, stuff like that. So I have a really good feeling about this year. I feel like this year we have a lot of returners, like you said, and you know, just knowing you gotta do our job. You know, coming in, if this is your first year, say coming in and starting playing, you're gonna want to do everything because you want to be, you know, that guy. But I feel like this year everybody knows their role. Hey, like, let's do our thing. If we do our thing together as a team, we're gonna be successful. So honestly, just doing everything every day that we can to be better, and just doing our job as a whole team, as a whole defense, it's gonna be a good thing for us. So that's what I feel. On the defensive side of the ball, we're gonna do really well.
Special teams, you're looking at new kickers from what I can see in the 2 deep. You're gonna have
well, and they're both young. They're both freshmen, and you know, when the lights come on, how's it gonna go? We've tried to put as much pressure on them as we can in practice, but until the lights come on and someone's live rushing them, you know, how are they gonna handle that?
Right.
So, but Trapper Beam, we're excited with what he's gonna bring in the punt game and the kickoff game. His brother played for us, so we know the family very well, and we look forward to see what he can do. And then Ethan Olivis, is from Eddyville, just down the road, and he stepped up. And when you know we had a lot of a competition, and Ethan did a great job. He's very consistent with what he's doing, and has a little bit of range, and so that's an added bonus for us because we really haven't had that the last couple of years. That you know, we can put someone out there that we feel very confident that is going to put it through the uprights every time, and Ethan's done a good job with that.
There you go. Punt returner, kick returner. Just remembering right off the top, Luke Masters. I know I saw his name in there again. So.
Yeah, Luke's one of the best, just because he secures the catch, and then he just goes and gets what he can.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of dancing around with Luke, not a lot of trying to see what's going on. This is where the hole's supposed to be. I'm going to run to it, and then we'll see what happens. You know, we do have we'll put our mom pledge back there on kickoff return, and Gavin Roundtree a little bit back there, and those kids that can really burst and potentially make a big play out of it. But putting Luke back there, we know what we're going to get, and feel very confident that the ball's going to stay in our hands.
Yeah, definitely. All right, schedule/conference. Again, it's back to the normal 11, and there's not a lot of light weeks in there. Even if you've got, I won't even say who. Everybody's tough.
There isn't one.
No, there's not, and it starts with Benedictine right away, perennial power, top 20 team. But they're coming here on Saturday, so at least you right out of the gate get a home game and get in front of the home crowd. So let's talk about that schedule a little bit.
Well, right out of the gate, you look at Benedictine comes here. We're very thankful for that. We feel that playing the game at night, hopefully we can get a really nice crowd and get some support. They're ranked number 16 or 17 in the country right now. And then next week we'll travel to Baker.
Yes,
Baker. All right, we go to Baker next week. And obviously they had a great playoff run last year and are ranked very high. Mid-Am comes back. And then I don't know.
It's Evangel, Central Methodist, Missouri Valley,
and so,
in non-conference,
and then Central Methodist there at the end, I think, of the non-conference or the games with the South.
Right.
And then after the bye week, we come right back for the conference opener with Grandview. We play Peru and Clark and Graceland and Culver. Yeah, Culver will have a very good football team. They returned a bunch of kids that were potential that are COVID seniors and things like that got the extra year. They were good last year. If they'd have had their quarterback last year, then they had a bunch of injuries, and so I know that Coach Sally's super excited about his team. Obviously, we know what Grandview's going to bring. Peru State, we didn't really get to see them much. They only played a couple games, and they have a new coach. Clark, we know we're going to get. Coach Rigolatto's a great coach, and in their first year, for the first half against them, we struggled a little bit, so we'll need to, be prepared when we go back there. And then I know that Nate, Coach Robinson at Graceland's working his tail off to try and get that thing turned around, and they got a couple of recruits of kids that we really wanted. So so I know that they're working at it and trying to do a good job down there. So week in, week out, it's a grind, and so it's a long season. Fortunately, we have the bye right in the middle of it, and to try and get healthy a little bit. And but we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to week with these kids. We have a great group, and they're a lot of fun to be around.
Yeah, I know I always bring it up in our weekly interviews, but keys to success. What's it going to take? This team obviously does have a lot of experience in the key parts, especially key positions. What's it going to take to reach the goals you guys have set?
We need to stay healthy. Our depth is good, but our depth is young. Right. And anytime that you have young depth, that makes you just a little bit nervous, as a coach, because the speed of the game is different, and until those kids get some playing time, it's going to be hard to judge what kind of depth we really have. So I think the key, and I think the key for everybody at this point is to stay healthy. I mean, everybody feels good about their starting quarterback and things like that, but I think we need to stay healthy. I think we need to be able to handle all types of adversity, whether it's heat, whether it's getting down in a game, whether it's a bad turnover, whatever it is, we need to handle that better than we have the last 2 or 3 years. I think that we will, because of the team chemistry that we have. And then I think that we need to know that we can win every single game. Right. And I think these kids right now feel that. Hopefully that can translate into success every Saturday. And as coaches, we'll try and put together the best game plan we can, and if we go execute it, we'll feel good about our chances.
All right. Well, we'll see the team game 1, the 6 p.m. start out at Statesmen Community Stadium on Saturday. Benedictine should be a great game. Hopefully the cooler temperatures are starting to move into the forecast at that point, but it'll be a 6 p.m. game, so it'll be a lot better anyhow. But definitely come out. I don't think there's any Iowa State reasons to not come out. So check out the Statesmen week 1 on 6 p.m. on Saturday. So best of luck, Coach, this year, and
thank you.
We'll hear a lot from him in our coaches show moving on throughout the year. So.
Very good. Thank you very much.